Hey folks, Landstryder here, and welcome back to another episode on the Colonial Engineer server. Today we're going to be talking a lot about silent gear. That's right, we're going to do it. This is going to be the episode where we talk a whole bunch about that. We're not going to get to the maximum stuff because we just don't have the stuff to get up to that tier, but I'm going to show you how to make some major improvements to just the basic stuff. So right over here, we're going to see this thing called a part analyzer. Now, the name of it's a little deceptive because it does not actually, you don't actually put parts in here. You put materials. And the reason I think it's called part analyzer, because if you look and make yourself a crafting station, you're definitely going to want to have a crafting station for this. If you want to make any changes to the materials that I'm going to be showing you today. You want to check out all the materials, you can come in, and this is going to be vary from pack to pack depending on what mods and what things have been installed. So you want to come in here and show the available parts. So parts are actually what I would probably more refer to as materials, but yeah, these are all the parts. And the various parts can be used to make different things. The main parts are the ones that we're going to want to analyze. So not all these are main parts. So these are like rods, and these are upgrade parts, and we have grip parts and bowstring parts, and yeah, those are I think those are the main types. There's a name to follow. If we actually sort by type, we can see we got bowstrings to start with, and then we have some grips. There's also the gear sole, which is a part unto itself by itself. We're going to be talking about that here shortly. That is definitely one of the things you can do fairly early on, at least in this pack, especially since it's relatively easy to get access to materials and diamonds and such. But you're going to want to take your main parts and you're going to want to craft this analyzer. The analyzer, not too hard, you just make an advanced upgrade. You gotta go and get some nether quartz first somehow, and some blue dye, and again, more diamonds. But once you got an analyzer, this will allow you to take a material or a main part. If we search main part, we should get a list of just the main parts that can possibly be analyzed. The majority of those are the gems. And then we've got all of the wood materials, all of the stone materials. We're not going to care about those. We're going to want to look at mainly the gems and metals and alloys. Because if we look through this list, we can look at all these stats. This is one way to do it. But if we want to look for a specific stat, again, that's where this table is going to help us out. Because if we come in and show those parts again, we can sort them right here. In a nice convenient manner. So if we're looking primarily for armor durability, we can come in and see that black diamonds is number 1 on that list. And if we look at the durability, it gets a 42 times multiplier, and it has a pretty high durability to start with, so that would end up giving you the most armor points if you made armor strictly out of it. But you want to combine the parts, because when you mix them, you get a synergy bonus. For one, just for the mixing the metals, and then some of the materials actually increase that synergy bonus, and that's going to overall increase the stats of the end product in general. So you want to look for that. That's one of the things you want to look at. So you can see here we've got a synergy of 34% on like this tool, or 135%. You want it to be over 100. If it's just 100, then whatever the stats are, that's its stats. If you got a synergy bonus, it's whatever the stats are plus that synergy bonus. And I'm not sure exactly whether these are the stats that it's listing there is calculating that out in it, or if it's on top of that number. So you'd have to ask the mod author about that. I'm not 100%. So the analyzer. Let's talk about this a little bit more in depth. You get your material, and what I've done is I've gathered a bunch of the material already here. So I've upgraded some business steel. I made a big batch of business steel because it's a pretty good material to use. we look at it, has really good durability, a pretty good harvest level, very good harvest speed. Actually, let's look at the one that's not been analyzed, because those are the base numbers right there. So if we look at the base numbers, durability 1600, that's what it is without it being analyzed, and all those stats. Now, up here I have graded a stack of the material already, and if you just throw them in the grader, you've got 2 slots here. So we could, let's say we want to grade some Oinix. Let's grade some Oinix. We can just throw the Oinix in there. It's going to run through there. It's going to give us a grade. Now I've got mine set up to automate. It's going to go through this hopper. It's going to pull it out. Because otherwise these slots fill up pretty fast. You know, and I'm trying to analyze a whole bunch of gems all at once. So they're going to end up over here in this chest for the time being, where we got crimson steel all over the place. Where these come out, and we see we've got a grade D now, we've got a grade C, we've got a grade B. Ooh, how nice! That's surprising. We got a grade triple S. Now, grade triple S is actually the very highest you can get, so it's like super supreme. I don't know if that's what it actually stands for, but it is grade triple S is the highest you can go. So it ranges from E, the very lowest, you know, E, D, C, B, and A, and then above A is S, and then double S, and then triple S. So there's quite a few grades. Sorry about that. Phone noise there. There are quite a few grades, and so should kind of want to keep that. Where'd that triple S go? Did I not pull it out of the chest? Yeah, yeah. When I keep that triple S, I'm actually going to throw that one in here, because this is where I'm keeping my triple S stockpile. You can see we've got a bunch of that ready to go for crafting here in a minute, but let's talk about the grade system real quick. Also, if you put a catalyst in there, it will consume the catalyst and give you a better chance. We'll talk about that here in a second. Better chance for a triple S. So if we look at this one again, we got 1600 here. We want to find the one that's got 1600. There it is, 1600 durability. So right there, without grading the material, it's going to have these stats at least to start with. And as you use it over time, tools can actually develop a grade if you didn't have them graded to begin with. And that can be good or bad. It means that at some point your tool is going to get better or worse if you didn't use graded material in it, because they'll kind of self-grade over a long period of time. I'm not sure exactly how that system works there, but we want to avoid that. We actually want to grade our materials. Like if I broke these tools down, which I think we're actually going to end up doing, breaking all these tools down and building new tools, because I don't have any experience or anything special in these. What I can do is I can just run them through the salvager here, and we can get our bits and pieces back. I don't think I have anything to do that with. Yeah, we'll show you that here in a second. Let's finish talking about this part analyzer. You put your whatever is to be analyzed here. That's going to be one of these main parts again. It's going to usually be a gem or an ingot, which means that if you don't like the grade, you can just break it down into shards or nuggets if it's an ingot. You know, then I have a compacting drawer here, just make that recrafting it process a little easier. Back into a gem, and then now it's not graded anymore, and I can run it through here again. I can keep running it through there until I've got all triple S, which is what I want for the maximum stat increase on those. So let's actually go through that now. If we start with E, yeah, that's actually makes it worse by quite a bit. If you look to the stats there as I go through, so that would nullify quite a bit of the durability. It doesn't affect the harvest speed too much on this stuff, but that is kind of the big attraction to this material as a tool material. So after that, we've got grade D, I'm just going to kind of go through these. Grade C is what is equal to an ungraded material. So then we got B, A, S, and you can see these stats get crazy higher by quite a big percentage. Now, if 1600 was the original stat on the durability, you can see that the durability of 2240 now is what? Like, is that like a 50% increase or something like that? Maybe? But it affects all the stats down through. So, and that's going to translate, all that's going to translate into the end tool as better. So, you see, our distribution here is kind of I think I ran about a stack of bismuth steel through, and this was the distribution I got. I got like 1 triple S, and you can see the rest here of the grades that I got. So grading it isn't too bad. Now, all I got to do is break all these ones back down into nuggets, and I can regrade them. So I did a whole lot of that, and you can see the results over here. We've got some graded material, and these are all our triple S stock. I'm going to be able to make a full set of armor, new tools, and then we're going to put some enchantments and things like that on it. And then one of the things I want to do is I want to make souls to go in on all of my armor pieces. So you see I've got 6 tools here that I use on a regular basis. I've got 4 armor slots. I'm not wearing any armor right now. I got rid of that nasty purple monster stuff. I've gone ahead and crafted myself up 6 soul shells, and that is going to allow us to, using the soul gems that we've gotten from killing mobs, going to allow us to create soul gems. Now this is actually, I think, and I wanted to show you this one because I don't know if there's a better combination out there, and hopefully you guys will let me know if there is, because I've tried a lot of different combinations. This seems to be about the one I found that I like the most for armor. So if the first element, you see that the first element is metal and the second element is monster. Those are what are going to determine the stats of a soul gear and how it affects the piece of equipment that you apply it to. And once you give a piece of equipment a soul, it will be able to gain its own experience and level up and gain its own special abilities on top of whatever abilities that it received from the materials that it was crafted with, and whatever abilities that it gets from enchanting it. So it'll have your armor and equipment and tools will all have stats from the materials used in the creation of them, and that's going to affect, you know, how good or bad they are. And then you can enchant them, and that's going to, you know, further increase their effectiveness. And then you can give them a soul, which is going to allow them to get better, even better than what they are currently, because they're going to be incredibly awesome at that point. They're going to get even better over time as those souls level up and gain new abilities for the tool or weapon that it's attached to. Ooh, and then there's more. Yes, there is. There's totally more. We can also apply a grip to this, and of course the handle material that goes into it is going to have an effect on the overall tool. So let's get to actually crafting system. So what I think I'm going to do, since none of this has souls in it right now, none of it has any special abilities, I think what I'd like to do is just go ahead and break all this stuff down and start from fresh. So I've got triple S stuff. I'm going to throw all this in here. It's going to end up going through the salvager. Salvager will break down into all the original materials. You'll even get like your rod back. You may not get the grip or whatever back, but you will get like any upgrades that were applied to it. You see I got an emerald back from it. That was part of the upgrade, I think. No, I may not have had it. There we go. There's an emerald tip upgrade I got back. And these are actually going to come out graded. You can see that this was a grade E something. So whatever tool I had built, these tools were actually not that great because they're the ones that had graded them. So, these tools are actually not that great. The ones that had kind of self-graded looks like they were mostly low grades. So Cool, I got my bowstring back, that's actually very helpful. Some blaze rods back, those will go back into tool rods, and a few of these tip add-ons that I can then add back to the tools that I'm going to create. And I'm just going to grab these. I don't worry about breaking down all of these gems and putting them back into drawers later because I want to remove the grade from them before I do that because I don't think any of these are good. Yeah, D's and E's or ungraded. So yeah, the rest of that's junk I'll deal with later off camera. For now, let's go ahead and start working on a new tool set. So, well, let's start with the armor because I'm really actually anxious to get back into my armor. I haven't had any armor on. I've been just using. I took that nasty stuff off. I've just been using this Heart of the Golem, which gives you some, decent armor. You can see I got like 21. Almost a full bar of armor there, so I mean it does work fairly well, but and it will add to my armor if I decide to continue using it. But I think once I get my good armor, I'm gonna go with a different trinket there because because reasons. So our armor, we're definitely gonna want crimson steel as the primary material. We're gonna fill in with some bismuth steel possibly. We definitely want to use our black diamonds. Every piece has to have iolite, and every piece needs to have green sapphire, and I'll explain that real quick. So, if I give every piece iolite has a pretty good armor rating. You can see triple S is like way up there too. But it gives the Stellar 3 ability. Basically, it's going to give that armor stellar, and if you've noticed in some of the previous videos when I was running around like crazy and moving like at warp speed, that is because that first set of armor that I had some iolite in it as well, and that's actually been reclaimed and then graded, and that's how I've got this iolite here. It can be found in the nether, so it's not too difficult to get a hold of. Green sapphire is the other one I consider to be vital in my end set of armor. I'm going to say my end set of armor because what you guys do is all going to be dependent on your playstyle. So, and what materials you have available to you, I guess, in your pack or your world or your playthrough. So, green sapphire, it gives you adamant. Adamant actually increases the toughness. It's the one that gives you armor toughness, like a resistance bonus. So if you get enough of that in your armor, like one piece in every piece of the set, you can get a permanent resistance buff, which is really nice. Okay, I think that is probably all. We might have to fill in with some obsidian, and it's always nice if you can fit an emerald in a piece of armor. You want to fit an emerald into it because that's going to boost that synergy bonus. But the hardest one is the boots because we only get to work with 4 pieces. So we have to have green sapphire and iolite. I mean, those are the ones we just talked about, have to have. Now, I'm actually wanting to be completely fireproof, so in order to do that, I want Flame Ward. Now, Flame Ward I can get off of using Crimson Steel, and Crimson Steel is pretty much what I consider to be one of the best materials for this anyway. It's meant to be the top tier material for armor and such. But if we don't use 2 pieces, like say we mixed in with a piece of business steel, we can see that we do not end up with our flame ward over there on the list. We got everything else. We got adamant, we got stellar, but we're missing our flame ward. So to get flame ward, we have to use at least 2 pieces of crimson steel in the boots. You can see now that it comes out with flame ward. So that's going to be our boot recipe. There we go. And then next we need a helmet. Again, I don't know if I need 2. I think I do. So I want to throw black diamond in as the filler material, but let's see here. Does that give us the flame ward? It does not. That's what I suspected. So we definitely have to use 2 pieces in the helmet as well to get that flame ward. So it's going to have flame ward, and it at least has adamant 1 and at least has stellar 1. So we're good there. So black diamond was the other one I was thinking of because I want to give it a darker tint, and black diamond is considered to be the best as far as armor durability. It is even above obsidian, which would be the second best. So I can either go with that black diamond, or if I throw an emerald in there, you can see that it actually, because that tiny bit of extra synergy that that emerald can throw into the mix, it's gonna increase the overall armor. Isn't that crazy? I would have not suspected that. And then we can go through and check all the other alternative materials. You can see that obsidian does a similar thing. So maybe black diamond isn't what I want there, but I kind of like the tint of it. Don't really care for that lighter color tint from the emerald. And durability is way better with obsidian. How is it with... Oh, well, look at that. There we go. That's the combination I think I'm looking for. Durability is best. That's the highest armor rating I've seen. I'm still got my flame ward, everything I like. That's the combination we're going for. Right there. Alright, moving right along. Let's get the legs in. So again, we're gonna... I am gonna try and throw a piece of emerald in. And the black diamond. That actually is looking pretty nice. We got 9.9 there. We still have... Oh, look at that. Now, if we look over here, missing flame ward, so we need to break up some of that crimson steel. That's got to go in there. And now if we swap... Oh, good. Yeah, there we go. Bring in the business steel up to there. If we rearrange this slightly... Oh, look at that. Getting even higher armor rating. 10.7. There it is, 11 armor on the legs. Oop, can't do that. Can we do that? But we don't. We gotta have the adamant. Because armor toughness, that tiny bit of extra armor that we get by losing that adamant ability is really not worth it in my opinion. Because we need that adamant if we want to give our resistance. Let's keep that. What if we swap that? Nope. Nope. Might be able to... Oh, what happened there? Something. Hey. Okay, that was just a little lag. But yeah, if we switch that around, 10.7 or 10.7, there's really no difference there at all. No difference whatsoever. The U is about the same. I think we'll stick with it. Double check. We still have our adamant, we have our flame ward, we have our stellar. Okay, we're good. Those are the abilities we definitely want to make sure we have on it before we pull it out of the crafting good, because otherwise we'll just do it again. So the final piece, chest piece. Can we get our black diamond into this one? Okay, we got the adamant, we got the flame ward. Good, good there. So the black diamond can go in. Make it the centerpiece. We got 13.9. See if we can get it a little higher there. 13.9. 13.9. That's lower. 13.9 is about as we'll get. I mean, this is going to be way over the cap anyway. I'm pretty sure of anything. We're gonna probably. I wonder what. Yeah, actually, that would. Put it up a little higher there, wouldn't it? And give it a nice U. I like that. More durability. Yeah, we're going to throw the pits of obsidian in there instead. Okay, there's the armor. And now that we've got to that point, let's put it on. And you can see we get jump boost 4, speed 3, and resistance 2, and fire resistance. That's the flame ward. So we are immune to lava. We are immune... Well... not really immune to anything else, but definitely immune to lava and fire damage in general. So that's super sweet. So blazes aren't going to hurt us. We can run around to the nether, fall in the lava ocean, and we're be fine. And just the movement speed and everything else is super nice now. And then the resistance that it gives, that's gonna allow us to absorb the majority of hits. So we won't have to worry too much about getting hit from just about anything, I would think. And I just love the way this armor looks because it's that super bright, nice, deep red. Kind of reminds me of blood armor, a little bit. But yeah, maybe this is my blood mage armor. But yeah, I made this little room set up down here to do our equipment construction, and then the first thing we want to do is, like, when you get equipment, it doesn't have any enchantments on it. You want to like go ahead and put some random enchantments on it. I've got this little setup right here, right beside our equipment lab, right over here into the enchanting lab. And you can see I've been pushing some spawners around. Check this guys out. Spawner pushing. That is the thing you can do in this pack. But I pushed enough spawners around to give us a little brick of spawners in there. And I was going to continue until I had, I don't know, 8, 16 of them. Right now we've got 10. Yeah, no, not, yeah, 10. Not even 10. One less than that. Yeah, it's 8 plus 1, 9. You get 9. And that seems to be more than sufficient of a flow of mobs and experience. So if I hit this lever right here, it's gonna go ahead and retract those glowstone. You see that kicks in the spawning right off the bat. That brings the mobs over here. Of course, we want to get rid of the water. So the top lever there is, you know, from levers and switches. That could just be a regular old vanilla button or whatever, but there's a dispenser in there with water. The lower dispenser actually has splash potions of poison. Actually, splash potion of poison too. Oh, didn't want to do it today. Usually it spits one right out. There it goes. There it goes. So, that'll let you poison them. You know, soften them up or whatever, and then you can stand over here with your sword. Of course, I broke my sword down, so, but this will let you get a bunches and bunches of experience. Bunches and bunches of experience. Oh, there we go. And then there's a little netherwort lab or netherwort grows thing over here. This is for the soil. So if I pick the netherwort off of it, it'll automatically regenerate, so I don't have to even remember to replant it. So if I need netherwort for brewing, this back here where I don't have anything yet, this is going to be a brewing area. And we'll probably, I'll probably make it just kind of a potion selector brewer type thing, where you can select your ingredients and, you know, hit the brew button, and it'll brew you up some potions and stuff like that. Right now I just got this little thing right here to make some splash potions of poison to put in there, because I was experimenting with, you know, different ways of softening up the mobs. I could either do that, or I could, like, you know, squash their heads in a block. The squashing your heads in a block I was a little concerned about, because I didn't want them to, like, accidentally glitch out or something like that. So, you know, went with the poison, and then the weapons that we're going to be making. Let me turn this back off because we don't need all those mobs generating. But in fact, let's go ahead and need a place to, oh yeah, that's right, I have top chest right here for ingredients, potions. But then we also have the token enchanter. I didn't even talk about that. So another way we talk about enchanting our weapons, and that's kind of why I wanted to just real quickly point out, look, I've got this mob farm that's insane, and it uses belts from create to move the mobs around relatively quickly. Yeah, maybe I'll show this. I'll show you guys this all again in a future episode, I'm sure. But yeah, they generate up there. They fall down on. If I can't hold still long enough for you guys to actually see what's going on, they fall down on all those belts, and then of course it's turned off right now, so there's nothing really spawning. And then I got windows all around, so you can kind of see. And I had originally set it up with this up and down, kind of move them around the thing, because I was going to have these setups where I would be able to store up a bunch of mobs so that they wouldn't, you know, so that I could hit the mob cap without the mobs doing the cram killing on each other. And then I realized that with the spawners, that just those few spawners we have and such, you can't really keep up with the mob flow anyway, or barely keep up with the mob flow unless you're standing all the way in the corner. If you come stand all the way in the corner, yeah, a couple of the spawners deactivate, I think. But yeah, if you're standing here and killing these guys, it's hard to keep up with it even. So there's no point in making it any more ridiculous than it already is. So that being said, once I get some random enchantments on these, in fact, that's what I'm going to do. That's why I have these 3 different enchanting tables. I'm going to go through, make all my tools, remake all my tools, and then I'm going to go through and get random enchantments on it. But once I'm done with random enchantments, if I get good things, if I get all good things, then we can, or if I don't get all good things is what I'm trying to say, and I get kind of good things, but it's not exactly what I want, I can then use the token enchanter to create these tokens. Oops. Tokens. Yeah, all these guys. Most of these are craftable. I think like all the key and important ones, I'm pretty sure Nock went through and gave them recipes. And then of course all the default ones have recipes to begin with. But yeah, so whatever I want to add to my tools, like say I didn't get Unbreaking, but everything else is already on there that I want, I can just make an Unbreaking token, combine that with the item in a crafting grid without even using an anvil, and it will add to the current enchantment or give it an enchantment if it doesn't have it. So you can see that Unbreaking has a max level of 3, so every time I use this token and craft it with an item, it's going to raise its Unbreaking level 1 levels up to 3, so I can easily do that. And I really just want to talk about it real quick because it's going to take me a minute to put together all those tools, get them enchanted and everything, and then maybe I'll just come back and we'll go through with just show you a few of the end products so you can see what's possible, because I mean it's tedious, and yeah, I'm going to be leveling up, gaining levels, enchanting. The only other thing I thought that might be really cool to explain, and this isn't silent related kind of wise, and towards the end of the video, we're gonna actually add these to it. Let's go ahead and grab our 4 souls for our armor, because that's I think the only other thing I need to do to the armor other than enchant it. I need to give it souls. That's gonna cost 3 levels for each one. Now, depending on the mod pack settings, in this mod pack it is set to use the anvil and cost experience in order to add any of these upgrades to your tools. In some mod packs and by default, like if you just downloaded Silent Gears for your personal use and haven't changed the config, you can just add those gear souls in the crafting grid, same as these enchantments. Same as these upgrades would be addable using the crafting grid without having to use the anvil. But in this pack, you have to use the anvil. Just so you know, not if you can't figure out why you can't add something, it might need to be done in the anvil, or if you're trying to do it in the anvil and it's not working, you probably just need to do it in a crafting grid. So I think that's it. I think that covers as much as we can do for now. The only other thing that we really didn't talk about was supercharging charging. There is a charging agent, a supercharging agent, and an ultra charging agent, which can then further increase all those stats on your stuff and make your equipment charged or supercharged or ultra charged. We'll get into that maybe in another episode. We'll talk about, or at least show off the difference between a regular set of gear and an ultra charged set of gear, because it's beyond ludicrous, guys. I mean, let me just tell you, it's totally beyond ludicrous. So wrong key. Yeah, so it's totally beyond ludicrous what you can accomplish or what you can get to with the gear in this mod. So that being said, I really like it. It's going to make things basically creative for me. I can run around and do whatever I want now. let me finish up putting together my actual set of gear, or I mean all my tools again, and get them all fixed up, and we'll be right back and show you all the results. Alright, yeah, there it is. Alright folks, that's awesome. That's perfect timing, because that means I should be able to finish up this last enchantment on the helmet, which is going to complete everything enchantment wise on my set. So I've been using some trickery and stuff to get the full enchantments exactly the way I wanted to. A couple tricks actually. One, I've been using I used a few of the token enchantments to get a couple things, but not very much. I actually have been just doing regular enchanting down at the enchantment lab, getting enchanted bits of stuff. I actually enchanted a few gold bits of armor because I can take, when I get those, of course, in case you didn't know, gold armor has a higher enchantability level, so you have a better chance of getting higher enchantments on it and more of them. At least that's my very basic understanding. And you hear that lightning that's going off right now. That is actually not in the daytime. There's no storm going on. What's happening is souls are being returned to some gravestones somewhere. It's not these ones. It's actually that over there. We put a couple gravestones. Yeah. Ooh, yeah. You can see them happening. That is exactly what is happening. So I've got a little cemetery thing that I've made over here, and I think it looks really good with the podzol, because the graves actually have like a podzol base, and it really just blends right in with the rest of the podzol over here, and it makes it look really good. So I've completely lined this little well here, and of course we have called it the Well of Souls. No drinking, swimming, or fishing. Of course, it's so in order to use these, you craft these books from the tombstone. This is not silence related. That's kind of why it's at the end of this video. But it is a great way to do your enchantments, and this can be done in any pack that includes the tombstone mod, not just this particular tombstone mod, Corral tombstone mod, which is a very nice one, a very good quality of models and graphics and stuff, and a really cool system of enchanting and adding some special abilities. So anyway, you put something that's enchanted in your offhand, you use one of these disenchantment books, and you have a gravestone with a soul. That little purple dot that's floating around that grave, that's the soul. So if we just right click on a soul, we take that soul and we use it to disenchant what was in our offhand. So now we got these two books, and the reason I got both books is because I've actually invested some points of my knowledge of death as to become a disenchanter. So I can strip up to 3 disenchantments off every time I do that. So if I've got an item that's got 3 enchantments on it that I want all of them or any of them, I'm going to get a book with each one of those enchantments on it whenever I do that action. So with that final disenchant there, I've got the last book that I wanted to add to my helmet. Okay, so you can see it's already got protection, chilling rebuke, unbreaking, aqua affinity, but I want 2 more on it. I want gourmand 2 and respiration 3. That protection book can actually go in there for somebody else. So I'm going to go ahead and combine the books, and then I'm going to combine that book with the helmet. And there we go. That's going to be my fully enchanted helmet. So altogether, I've enchanted everything. I've reapplied all of the upgrades to everything. So you can see these all have like head upgrades. This one has quartz. Usually I use emerald for my tools. Redstone upgrade for the bow to give it more damage. Not that it needs it at all. It pretty much one hit kills everything except for a wither boss. And even that, it can take it down to 50% health in one shot. I'm pretty sure that this one's gonna, at least my previous bow in the test server was doing that. I'm pretty sure this one is close to the same thing, so it's probably gonna do about the same thing. And this one may be a slightly better. You can see power, all that fun stuff. Quick draw 3. I can shoot this thing like it was a machine gun. Yeah, and all of those will pretty much have full damage effect because of the quick draw, you know, so it doesn't take long to fire it at all. Punch and sight and all that other fun stuff. And then all of the abilities from the gems, and all of these guys now have a gear soul as well. The one that I added to the machete and the bow, I tried to make sure that they gave it a good decent damage boost. I'm pretty sure it's overkill. So with the machete fully enchanted here, now I wasn't able to get sharpness on it because I ended up getting that, I'm pretty sure it's disjunction that is stopping, you know, it can't be on there at the same time as sharpness, but disjunction and ender disruption, both of those things will increase my damage versus the enderman and the ender dragon. So this sword should be an ender dragon slayer, like maybe even just a few hits with this sword, if I can actually land a few hits with it. Now the nice part is, because this is Java edition and things like that, anytime that I'm using my bow in my offhand, my sword in my main hand, that looting 3 gets applied to my arrows. So whenever I shoot stuff with an arrow and I have the machete in my main hand, I'm getting looting 3 on whatever it is that I kill. And you can see, yeah, it really does shoot fast, and I can pretty much one-hit kill everything that I shoot at. Now, the machete is really excellent because it's also got Sweeping Edge 3 and all that other stuff that you can see on there. Plus, it has been leveling up like crazy. You can't even see all of its abilities if you just like let them scroll through. Like when I try to look at them, there's so much stuff going on here, I can't even see everything on my screen. I'd have to make my UI smaller to read everything even. And if you happen to hold Alt and Control at the same time, and your screen is big enough, you can actually get a description of all of the special abilities that that particular thing might have. But again, I had to change the scale of my UI to see all that stuff. And if you just hold Alt, you can see that it's scrolling through all of the abilities up at the top, kind of giving you a description of each one as it goes. And it also, when you're holding, let's see, when I'm holding Alt, when you're holding Alt, you can see the materials that it was made from, like the grade of the materials, and you can see that I used a blaze rod handle, added an emerald tip, gave it a black wool grip, and it has a gear soul. It doesn't give you the details of the gear soul. I'm not sure how you would even see that anymore, but other than to just see what abilities that it has and kind of remember what you did. So yeah, if you was to break this down, you would get that gear soul back and you could apply it to the new weapon, but it will lose all of its levels if you use the salvager. So the gear soul will not save its levels. The only way to make sure that you save levels when you're upgrading a tool is to just make a new head and replace that head on the tool. And you can actually see that I got Silk Touch on my hammer, and that is one of the ways that I did that. I used an agate to craft the tool to begin with, and then I made a different tool head, the actual tool head that I wanted, and swapped that in, and it retained that Silk Touch ability because that's a weird one. It as you can see, with Sweeping Edge 3, I can just come up to these and just kill everything one swipe. This is great for experience now. I can actually keep up with the spawn rate of the spawner, so there might be a case. It might not be a bad idea to go ahead and add 3 more into there, or 4, or even more, that I can find in there's a building like right over there that has a few extras. So they might end up moving maybe 3 more into there. I don't think I'm gonna go with a full 16. I think 12 would probably be more than sufficient. I mean, for as much as I'm probably going to be using this in the future, and gosh, the amount of drops that I've already gotten out of this. If we look in my dank here, this is something else I crafted. I don't think I showed anywhere on camera or anything, but dank storage, it's a really awesome device that you can get, and it holds lots and lots of stuff. So as I'm out mining and things, especially like nether brick and cobblestone, all that stuff will get picked up by the dank. It has a bunch of different settings. Probably talk about it again in the future, but anyway, point being is if you just look at the totals here, I've got over 4k of bones already, almost 2k of rotten flesh out of this farm. All of this redstone is actually from those witches dropping a redstone and the simple treasure bags. These things are awesome. So this is going to give me all kinds of insane loot. I'm going to have the chance of getting more of those ancient tomes. And if you look at my pickaxe, I was actually able to apply one ancient tome to my equipment, and if you look at this one, it has fortune 4, so I can use that to break gem ore instead of sending it through the grinder, and I can get an even better return. Oh my gosh, did you see that? See how OP these tools are? They're kind of dangerous. For one, you can see that this has reach 3, so does my hammer. If we go down, I'm just going to show you real quick. If we go down into the bowels of the earth here real quick, someplace where I can just do some damage. Yeah, over this way would be good. Here's a tunnel that I had dug earlier trying to get some cobblestone. But if you see, I can just barely click. That's like total insta mining. And not only is it insta mining, but like look how far away I can. I'm mining all the way back there. That's that reach 3. Now it'll do it with the hammer too. It just practically insta mining. This is not quite as fast as there's a little area that needs to be lit. Not quite as fast as that pickaxe because it's doing 3 at a time, but I can give this, see this, I didn't even put any, oh, that's what I'm missing. I guess I still have one more thing to enchant. This still needs to have efficiency 5. I actually didn't need the efficiency 5 on the pickaxe. I probably could have done without that because I want to be able to just break one block sometimes. And with this thing having efficiency 5, it's really easy to just instantly break more than one block. Especially when they're further away, because it seems like if they're at that extended reach area, it mines even faster. I don't understand it, but it is a thing. It is a thing. So, guys, now that I have this insanely OP armor and equipment, oh my god, I just mined blocks. I guess I gotta be careful with having that stuff in my hand. Yeah, I'll have that in my hand for a second. So now that I have all this insanely OP guard, and that cloud thing, that's that shadow step on my boots. It makes it so you can't be seen by mobs as near. So I'm assuming it also makes it so you can't be seen by players as well either. But anyway, way over enchanted gear, way overpowered stuff. Now I can pretty much run around and do whatever I want without much worry of damage or dying or whatever. I mean, just don't fall in the void, of course, but even if I did that, there's gravestone, I can get back to it. So but no more worrying about equipment. It is dealt with, taken care of. This should be the equipment that I use throughout the rest of the series. I should, as far as I can tell, I should not need anything else or to upgrade this. Now I could make this ultra gear. I don't think there's a need. I mean, well, definitely I'll talk about it if you guys want to know about it. But like, you make this stuff ultra, and I mean, we're already at the caps. I mean, if you look at my armor, you look at my armor toughness bars down there, I'm capped. I'm actually way beyond those caps. If the only way that those caps could even come off is another mod that actually changed those things, and I don't think that's necessary. No, anyway, guys, yeah, let's wrap this up. Thanks for watching. I hope you liked it. If you did, hit that like button, and don't forget to ring the bell. Anyway, guys, till next time, I'll catch you later.